Welcome back. This is Praveen Gore, lecturer Science Department. So in this lecture, I'll be starting with the 6th unit, that is industrial chemistry. So this is the only unit which we have from chemistry section into applied science. So we'll be looking into many aspects of industrial chemistry into this unit. So to begin with, we have electrolytes. What are electrolytes? A compound which conducts electricity in molten state is called an electrolyte. A compound which conducts electricity in molten state. So examples are given: NaCl, HCl, KCl, and etc. So what is NaCl? It is common salt what we use for eating purpose. It is a common salt. So NaCl in molten state conducts electricity. This is the definition of electrolyte. NaCl conducts electricity in molten state. So what is molten state? When we add NaCl in water, that time it starts conducting electricity. Why does it start conducting electricity? Because when we add NaCl into water, we get Na plus charges and Cl minus charges. When we add NaCl into water, we get Na plus charges and Cl minus charges. So this process of splitting up of a compound into its constituents is called as ionization. So whenever we add an electrolyte in water, ionization takes place and we have positive and negative charges, and positive charges and negative charges are responsible for passage of electricity. Remember this thing. Unless and until we have positive charges or negative charges, we have electric current flowing inside a liquid. If there are no positive or negative charges, if there are no free charges, positive or negative charges, in general we can call them as free charges. If there are no free charges, then there will be no flow of electric current. So remember, when we dissolve NaCl or HCl or KCl, we get free charges. If we are dissolving HCl, if we are dissolving HCl into water, we get H plus and Cl minus ions. H plus and Cl minus, here they are called as ions, and this process whole together, what you see here, this is ionization. So H plus ion and Cl minus ions, they are responsible for passage of electric current. Therefore HCl is an electrolyte. This is HCl is a compound which conducts electricity in molten state or liquid state. So when we add it in water, it becomes a liquid state of HCl which conducts electricity. Okay, so now we will see what are strong electrolytes. The electrolytes which ionize completely are called strong electrolytes. The electrolytes which ionize completely are called strong electrolytes. So examples are given. Again we have NaCl, KCl, HCl with addition of NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide. Then NaCl is called as sodium chloride. So these are all strong electrolytes. Why these are strong electrolytes? Because when we add, say I have 1 liter of water in this, and to this I add 10 NaCl, 10 molecules of NaCl. Then what happens when I am adding 10 molecules of NaCl? I get 10 molecules of Na plus and 10 molecules of Cl minus. So all the 10 molecules are undergoing ionization. All 10 molecules are undergoing ionization. Even if I add 20 molecules, then here I'll get 20 molecules of Na plus and 20 molecules of Cl minus. So ionization is complete. There is no case wherein if you are adding 10 molecules of NaCl, then there is no such case where you get 8 molecules of Na plus and 8 molecules of Cl minus and 2 molecules of NaCl as it is. No, this is not true for NaCl. Why? Because NaCl is strong electrolyte. It ionizes completely. So all 10 you get it as Na plus, all 10 Cl minus. So there is no question of undissolved electrolyte. So these are strong electrolytes. Similar manner, if you are adding NaOH, okay, say 5 molecules of NaOH, this also dissolves as 5 molecules of Na plus and 5 molecules of OH minus. 5 molecules of Na plus 5 molecules of OH minus. So whenever you see the number of positive charges is equal to number of negative charges, here we have 5 molecules of positive charge and 5 molecules of negative charge. So inside a solution, the positive charges and negative charges are always equal. So strong electrolyte dissolves completely, okay, or ionizes completely. Then we'll see what are weak electrolytes. The electrolytes which ionize partially are called weak electrolytes. Ionization is partial in case of weak electrolytes. So examples are given: NH4OH, which is called ammonium hydroxide, and HCOOH, acetic acid, etc. are the weak electrolytes. There are many others, but just to go with, we need these two and I have taken. So what are weak electrolytes? Suppose I have 10 molecules of NH4OH. If I add it in 1 liter water, so what happens? Ionization takes place. But I know NH4OH is weak electrolyte, therefore I may get 7 molecules of Na plus 7 molecules of OH minus plus 3 molecules remain undissolved. 3 molecules remain unionized, that is as it is. These 3 molecules are not going ionization. Therefore, we have partial ionization. What is complete ionization? Complete ionization is we get 10 molecules of Na plus 10 molecules of OH minus. But we know that NH4OH is a weak electrolyte, therefore we get ionization, partial ionization. Only part of it is ionized and part of it is unionized. So this is a weak electrolyte. But here also, if you see, the number of positive charges are 7 and number of negative charges are 7. So in all the cases, whether it is complete ionization or partial ionization, number of charges, positive charges and negative charges are always the same. Okay, then we have Arrhenius theory of electrolytic dissociation, and we'll be studying what are the assumptions of Arrhenius theory. We'll see what are the assumptions of Arrhenius theory. So first assumption is when electrolytes are dissolved in water, ionization takes place. So what happens? Whenever we add an electrolyte into water, what happens? Ionization takes place. So for example, take KCl, potassium chloride. When I add this in water, H2O, when I add this in water, what happens? Ionization takes place. What is the ionization process? So splitting up of positive and negative charges. Ionization means separation of positive charges and separation of negative charges, K plus and Cl minus. So this process is called as ionization. Whenever you add any electrolyte into water, separation of charges takes place. Okay, separation of charges takes place. Then second point, I have told you just now in both the examples, in a solution, the total positive charge is equal to total negative charge. So what happens when the charges are equal? They both nullify each other, therefore solution is electrically neutral. So in a solution, total positive charge is equal to total negative charge, so the solution is electrically neutral. Okay, so this we know. Then we know one more thing, that only ions are responsible for passage of electric current. Ions are nothing but free charges. If we have free charges, current flows. If we don't have free charges, current doesn't flow. Therefore, ions are responsible for passage of electric current. Now, coming to fourth point, ionization is a reversible process. So, consider a salt or electrolyte Ba. When we dissolve it in water, we get charges, free charges B plus and A minus. We get B plus and A minus. So, we have salt Ba and we got ions B plus and A minus. So this process also can be reversed. If we have ions B plus and A minus, we can also get back salt Ba. We can also get back salt Ba. So this is ionization is a reversible process. So we can travel in both the directions. We can have a salt and then ionize it, or we can have ions and form a salt. Now coming to fifth point, the degree of ionization increases with dilution. The degree of ionization increases with dilution. So the last example I had given, that 10 molecules of NH4OH in 1 liter water, they give 7 molecules of NH4 plus 7 molecules of OH minus and plus 3 molecules of NH4OH. So when do I get 10 molecules of NH4 plus 10 molecules of OH minus? And this is not there. When do I get it? When I increase the amount of water. When I make it say 2 liters, that time what happens? All the 10 molecules of NH4OH dissolve completely. So when I add water, that means when I dilute the solution, ionization increases. Therefore, that is what is given in point number 5. The degree of ionization increases with dilution. And coming to point number 6, the properties of the electrolytes are the properties of ions present in them. So properties of NaCl are the properties of Na plus and Cl minus. Properties of HCl are properties of H plus and properties of Cl minus. This is what is the 6th point. There are few more things coming into this unit which I'll be covering in further video lectures. Thank you.